Hey everyone, it's Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, so time to read another Choose Your Own Adventure. This one is called Alien Go Home, and it's written by Cedon Johnson, and it's Choose Your Own Adventure number 101. Oh, I'm not sure I am muted here. Yeah, that's good. Yes, Alien Go Home. Here's a closer look at what I presume is us and our grandpappy or something. I don't know. And then I don't know. Well, wait a minute. Why is there? If that's supposed to be an alien, why is there like a hammer and sickle on the side of it? Uh, Not so alien after all. It's more like the Soviet Union, I guess. All right. Anyways, I never noticed that before. That is definitely not an alien. All right, as usual, we'll read the back cover. I want to believe. I want to believe it's communist aliens, right? Yeah, that's a Russian sickle. That's not. Can you discover the reason for the shuttle disaster? You're in the frozen north, panning for gold, hoping to strike it rich, when you hear the news. A Soviet space shuttle has mysteriously fallen out of orbit and is heading for the Yukon. You rush outside, just in time to see it crash beyond a nearby ridge, and you wonder if the cosmonauts are okay. You have to think fast. Will you race to the shuttle to investigate, or turn back to get help? If you decide to check out the shuttle, turn to page 15. If you decide to return to your cabin and radio for help, turn to page 42. But be careful. The crash site may hold unexpected dangers. You might come face to face with an alien life form, or you might stumble upon a lost gold mine and end up richer than your wildest dreams. What happens next in the story? It all depends on the choices you make. How does the story end? Only you can find out. And the best part is that you can keep reading and rereading till you've had not one, but many incredibly daring experiences. Panning for gold, and cosmonauts. Gold mine or aliens? I guess we didn't really know a lot about the Soviet space program back then. It's like, well, they're either carrying gold or they're carrying. Yeah, right, Rob. They're carrying mutant spider ants. Do we fall in love with an alien? I don't know. And then we move to Russia. Yes, that's probably what happens. The gold mine is the aliens we found along the way. And yes, as usual, kids can start reading the Choose Your Own Adventure stories, and also teachers really like them too. Move to Russia. Yeah, that wouldn't have been so bad back then. You know, you could like get on the ground floor. You know, buy a company basically that the government was like selling them at really cheap rates. That'd be a good time to get on it. Yeah. So this is illustrated by Leslie Morrill. It's an R.A. Montgomery book. Here's a closer look at us, I guess. We're wearing a checkered shirt and doing whatever we're doing there. Okay. Brendan Devlin, age 11. I can see Russia from my house. Aliens. Aliens and, maybe that's in this book. Maybe that's where, oh gosh, what's her name? Forget. May 1990. Published May 1990. Cover art by Romas Kukulis, and the interior illustrations are by Leslie Morrill. And with all my love, Doug. To Doug. With all my love, to Doug. To Doug, okay. Warning. Do not read this book straight through from beginning to end. These pages contain many different adventures that you may have while you are panning for gold in Canada's Yukon territory. From time to time, yes, Sarah Palin, that's it. Thank you. From time to time as you read along, you'll be asked to make a choice. Your choice may lead to success or disaster. The adventures you have are the results of your choices. You are responsible because you choose. After you make a choice, follow the instructions to see what happens to you next. Think carefully before you make a decision. A Soviet space shuttle has mysteriously fallen out of orbit. Somewhere in your search for gold, you may come in contact with this spacecraft. And if you do, your new friend could be also your new enemy. Good luck. That makes no sense. Okay. We don't. Yeah, no, sorry, Rachel. We don't read these books straight through from beginning to end. I know this is brand new information. Okay. You've hitchhiked over 6,000 miles and bummed passage on a fishing trawler for another 1,000 when you finally get up to the bush of Canada's Yukon Territory. Sourdough, an old geologist and prospector who was... Wait, was there a sour... Is this the same sourdough? Oh my god. Sourdough, an old geologist and prospector who was shipmate with you on your Uncle Ben's ocean research vessel, the Polestar. Wait, wasn't he also on the Polestar? Oh my god, it's the same character. Alright. Has invited you to spend your summer vacation with him, panning for gold. His home is in an old log cabin, hundreds of miles from the closest town. While you were on the Polestar last summer, on an expedition to the South Pole, Sourdough spent hours telling you about his mining adventures in the Yukon. You had visions of striking it rich. Sourdough. Oh my god. You had visions of striking it rich, but so far all you've gotten for your time wading in icy streams and slewing mud around in your gold mining pan has been a few flecks of gold. Colors, as he calls it. Sourdough kids you about this in a good-natured way, chuckling over how a gold digger likes of you can't even earn enough to pay for a stack of pancakes. Then he slaps his hand on his knee and roars with laughter. He is nice now? Well, he's still a little jerky, I guess. Well, he's still a little he's definitely jerky if we had to hitchhike over 6,000 miles and then bum passage on a fishing trawler for another 1,000. Like, couldn't he, if he's got all that gold, couldn't he just like pay for like a flight for you to get up there? Come on. Yeah, you can come to spend the summer with me if you can hitchhike 6,000 miles. Good thing. All right. During the day, while you're out panning, Sourdough spends his time rambling around in search of the lost Glory Hole gold mine. In the evenings, while he talks on the ham radio to his friends from all over the territory, you realize it takes a special breed of person to live in the Yukon. Like Sourdough always says, make one mistake up here, and it'll be your last. You arrive back at the cabin late one afternoon. Sourdough tells you he's been listening to the shortwave radio all day while you've been out. Listen to this, he says. The Soviet Space Administration has announced that radio contact for their newly developed space shuttle was mysteriously cut off 8 hours ago. They reckon the shuttle has fallen out of orbit and is headed way off course. They're unable to figure out whether it will continue on aimlessly into outer space or crash land somewhere on Earth. Yeah, Glory Hole, really? Yeah, it's the Glory Hole gold mine. What's wrong with that? It's just the name of the gold mine. It's Dr. Sourdough Vivaldi. Yeah, I wish. Yeah, that is quite a name for a gold mine. Alright, go on to the next page. You don't waste another minute. Lend me your binoculars, Sourdough. I'm going to climb the ridge across from the cabin and set up my own shuttle tracking station. You jam into your backpack your sleeping bag, a flashlight, a greasy moose sandwich, and a pocket tape player. If I see anything, I'll signal you in Morse code with the flashlight. Sourdough shakes his head, amused. That's plumb like looking for a needle in a haystack, he chortles, but go on ahead. Before he can even finish his sentence, you're long gone, headed for the ridge. You scramble up to the ridge, wolf down your sandwich, and then curl up in the sleeping bag to keep warm. In the Yukon at this time of year, the days are very long. The sun barely dips below the horizon, and the stars are poking out. It all looks so beautiful. Well, that's good. The mine has strategically placed holes for better extraction. That's good. It's not just the name of the gold mine. The Soviet Association of Space Searching, aka SAS. Suddenly, you hear something. A brilliant pinpoint of light overhead flares against the gray evening sky, getting larger and brighter. You look through the binoculars. It's the shuttle. You wonder how the cosmonauts can hope to make a safe landing anywhere in this region. Then, you realize they must be headed for Caribou Lake, which is just over the ridge. You watch as the shuttle descends steadily and finally disappears below the ridge. You prepare yourself for the flash of a huge explosion, but there isn't one. Quickly you start racing towards the landing site when you remember Sourdough. You should let him know what's happening so that he can call the authorities on his radio. You flash a message with your flashlight in the direction of the cabin, but you get no response. "Come on, Sourdough, wake up!" you yell several times from the ridge. He's probably asleep, you realize. You should run back and get him. You might need his help. On the other hand, the cosmonauts might be hurt. Maybe you should run to the shuttle as quickly as possible and see if you can lend a hand. Yeah, don't forget Sourdough. Come on. If you decide to return to the cabin, turn to page 42. If you decide to run to the shuttle, turn to page 15. There we go. We see the shuttle. Run to the shuttle, Valerie says. Come on, Sourdough, rise. Beth also says, run to the shuttle. Befriend the aliens. Is Caroline? We're flashing him near the glory hole. Yeah, I think so. I think that's what we're doing. Shuttle. All right, we're getting to the shuttle. Run to the shuttle. Oh, what's this here? Ooh. Wow, they included some Wishbone 3D specs. That's nice. Oh, definitely can use those. All right. It was right on this page here. Some Wishbone 3D specs. Nice. Sometimes you get some extra bonuses with these books, you know? On page 15, Run to the Shuttle. There, I'll keep it right there. All right. Ooh, that's not page 15. You grab your backpack and start running towards the shuttle as fast as you can, leaping over bushes and rocks, tree branches slashing at your face and hands. At the top of the next ridge, you catch your breath and look down on Caribou Lake. The shuttle, badly mangled but still in one piece, lies at the end of the long Finger Lake, its nose crumpled by a stand of pines. As soon as you reach the shuttle, you go directly to the flight deck, where you find the bodies of 3 cosmonauts. Realizing you are too late, you start to head back to Sourdough's cabin to inform the authorities. Suddenly you hear a moan coming from an adjacent compartment. You poke your head in and locate a young cosmonaut, about your age, rubbing his head. "Don't move," you shout. "Let me check for broken bones." "I'm okay, my friend. I'm just dizzy from this blow on my head," he says in heavily accented English. "I am Peter. Or Petior. What happened, you ask, as you help him hobble out of the shuttle. "You won't believe it," Petior answers. Turn to page 52. Heavily accented English. Very, very heavy accent. Forget that. At least you can understand them, though. The only good cosmonaut. They all died. Except for this one. The one that is around your age just happens to be the one that survived. Petior explains to you that while they were in orbit, his Soviet crewmates detected something unusual on the ship's radar. Realizing it was too small to be a satellite, they reasoned it was debris left by some other spacecraft. Analysis of the radar returns showed the object to be perfectly round, not much larger than a soccer ball. When they checked with Moscow, the Soviet Space Administration ordered them to take it on board. "At first it only made weird, garbled sounds. It was some language, but one we had never heard before," Petior explains, his voice odd. "Then, like the sound you get when tuning across the international broadcast bands, it began to speak in a number of different languages, until it spoke Russian. When it replied, it talked to us." "What did it say?" you ask dubiously. "It asked many questions. What were we? What were we there? Why were we there? Why didn't we compute? It was bizarre. Then it demanded to be released back into its orbit. So what happened? It then rolled over to the computer, stuck out a mechanical arm and plugged into our system. Suddenly, we were powerless. It cut off our communication and took control of the shuttle, forcing our ship to abandon its orbit. It's a personal message. And none of our business. Yeah, it's in Europe it's called football-sized orb. Not soccer. But yeah, it's the Borg. They got assimilated. He's probably a Borg right now. But where is this quote-unquote soccer ball, you ask, not believing a word of the cosmonaut story. Here! After the shuttle bay area bounces a metallic ball, with a voice as loud as a foghorn. Swiftly it rolls to your feet. A shutter slides back, revealing a series of bright lights that blink in rhythm with its voice, which is emitted out of a circular grid on the bottom. Glebe Fogo on planet Earth? What planet are you from, you ask. You reach down to touch the sphere, but it bounces away like a playful puppy. Glebe sent from Termania to do term paper about planet Earth. It points south with a probe. Take me to L.A. now. This must be some sort of joke, you say, looking at Petior. No, he answers. This robot caused my shuttle to crash. It is no joke. The sphere shouts insistently. Glebe to L.A. It's not over the next hill, you know, you say desperately, trying to buy time. We can't move until the rescue helicopters arrive. Then we'll turn you over to the proper authorities, and they'll fly you there. Yeah, they'll fly you to L.A. Don't worry. The authorities are going to take you right to L.A., we promise. And there we are, with our new friend Petior, and, yeah, Glebe. Glebe to L.A. is the great is a great road trip movie. This book is super horny, and I'm here for it. Yes, humans will take Glebe Fogo to LA as soon as possible. Important information available there. The sphere starts emitting a low hum, a vibration that slowly gets louder and louder. You cover your ears, but the sound seems to enter your head, reverberating within your mind. Your instinct is to run away, but you are also very curious. Perhaps you should stay and see what you can find out. If you choose to run away and escape from the sound, turn to page 56. If you try to appease Glebe Fogo by calming it down, turn to page 86. Okay, Glebe, jeez. Good vibrations, good vibration. So Rachel thinks we should run away. Anyone else think we should? Oh, I say we do whatever Glebe Fogo desires. That's what if Glebe Fogo wants to go to L.A., Valerie thinks we should stay. So Rob and Valerie think we should stay. Anyone else? Sue thinks we should run away. Beth thinks we should stay. Alright, seems like the majority wants to stay. We'll try to calm them down. No, watch this little... There we go. Oh, what is it? 86, yes. What? Alright, 86. Okay, you win, you say to Glebe Fogo, trying to appease it. Win what? Glebe asks, abruptly changing to a chirping little voice. Showcase number 1 or showcase number 2? Huh? You exclaim. How do you know that expression? Have you been watching TV from space? You bet your sweet bippy, it responds. Glebe loves TV. Glebe loves movies. Glebe loves Los Angeles. Petior, are you all right, you ask, noticing him shake his head. I am not hurting, only... How do you say it in English? I am very confused. You see what I mean by bizarre. Take Glebe to L.A.? The shrieks from the metallic sphere almost knock you over. All right, you answer. We're going. Okay, page 14. You bet your sweet Bippy. All right, we're going to L.A. So it's like the start of a Sheryl Crow song. We'll go to LA until the sun comes up over Santa Monica Boulevard. All I want to do is have a little fun before I die, says Glebe Fogo. Alright. LA is going to eat Glebe alive. You quickly scrawl a note telling the Mounties where you're headed and tape it to the half-hinged door of the shuttle. Then you say over your shoulder, "Come on, Glebe, let's head out." Together with Petior, the three of you start climbing up the ridge to the southwest. Glebe does not like to roll over rocks and through mud. Glebe wants to be carried, it commands. You'd like to try kicking a field goal with this metal soccer ball, but instead you pick it up and put it in your backpack. We'll head over the ridge, follow the stream, and eventually arrive at Pickaxe, a town on the banks of the Yukon River. If we can get a boat from there, we can go to Dawson and catch a plane to L.A., you explain to Glebe as you give Petior a knowing wink. You are both hoping the rescue teams find you soon, before you get too far from the site of the crash. Well, there's Glebe, I think. He's got 3 eyes. On to page 40. That is a road trip. That is a road trip movie. I was gonna say, Nanu, Nanu, Nanu. Hey. Yeah, when they said Dawson, I was thinking they're going to Dawson's Creek. Dawson. What? All right, page 40. Are we there yet? Glebe asks for the 100th time. You've only been walking for half an hour. It's a long way, Glebe. It'll take us at least 4 days to get there. Humans only have 2 legs, you know, you say with a sigh. You put on your headphones and listen to your Walkman in order to drown out Glebe's irritating chatter. Petior signals that he would like to rest. You take off your backpack and place Glebe on the ground. Glebe then begins to protest so much, you put your headset back on and turn the music up even louder. Petior, you can use my extra headset if you wish, you offer. He signals that he would prefer to eat, then catch a nap. Take Glebe to L.A. You turn around. Petior is writhing on the ground, covering his ears, yet you don't hear a thing. Glebe, you shout, realizing that the pulse of the vibrations can't penetrate the music you're listening to. I'm going to listen to my music now, so leave me alone. We'll get to L.A. as soon as we can. Music. Glebe loves music. Rock and roll, rhythm and blues, country and western, rap. Let Glebe hear music. It rolls over to you. It tries to stick its probe into your tape player. Well, that's a little forward, Glebe. That's a big no-no. It's personal space. Go on to the next page. Glebe watches the Smurfs. Are we there yet? Was a running Smurf gag. Glebe, you asshole. Shut up, Glebe. Glebe is the fucking worst, yeah. No way, you say firmly. You get nothing more from us till you stop beaming that signal of yours. Those pulsations hurt us. Look at Petior, Glebe. He's in pain. And you did that to him. You hustle over to Petior. He's holding his ears, but he seems to be all right. Glebe rolls along behind you and nuzzles up to Petior. Glebe is human's friend, it says in a pitiful, squeaky voice. Friends don't hurt each other, Petior explains. People have feelings. Don't you know about feelings? Finally, with Glebe, I have a character I want to die more than the main character. We can't stay with this dude. No. We might be stuck with him, though. I don't know. Sorry he's so annoying. When it talked about like how we discovered an alien life form, I didn't think it would be this pain in the ass. 23. I compute the word feelings, Glebe replies. On our planet, we have soft bodies and feelings when we're young, like humans. But after we live 400 years as flesh and blood, a Termanian computer copies our brain, memories, and personality, along with vast stores of extra information. Then our computerized self-clones are assigned to explore space and study other civilizations. It is a great honor for Glebe Fogo to collect information on planet Earth, even though you are pretty far down on the list of space intelligence. Okay. So what have you learned, you ask hesitantly. I have studied electromagnetic radiations that your planet emits. This gives me a true picture of the state of your civilization, how your society works, its values, and its intelligence. You call these emissions television. From processing television, I now know Earth very well, Glebe responds. Uh-oh, you think aloud. But Glebe, you don't understand. Television is not really, well, it's not real life. It's not the way humans really live. Glebe ignores you, chattering away. Take me to Vanna. I want to spin the wheel. Turn to page 79. Yeah, Glebe just called us stupid. We're pretty low in space intelligence. WTF, Glebe. Yeah, people who live in glass houses, Glebe. Come on. Yeah, Glebe thinks it's so smart. Thinks it's so intelligent. What have you gotten yourself into, you wonder? Glebe will probably try to control you and Petior again with the pulsations, you realize. Here, Petior, you say, handing him your extra headset. Keep it on for insurance. You can plug it in if you have to. You let Glebe probe into the outlet of your tape player. Glebe stops talking and becomes an amplifier. Rock music echoes through the Yukon hills. Page 88. I'm smarter than you, also Glebe. Game shows are real. Yeah, the aliens are like Glebe, but they just got rid of him because he's annoying. Maybe he's like, saw an episode where there was a member of the Q that like left the continuum, or they were like ostracized from the continuum. They were like an outcast from the continuum. I believe is page 88. Where am I going? All right. After a while, you hear the sound of helicopter blades. Relieved, you race out into the open and wave the copter down. 2 men signal back. When they arrive, they're not very friendly. We're here to take that thing the Russians picked up in space. Government orders, the thin one of the two says. Somehow you don't believe him. Glebe cuts off the music. Take Glebe to L.A., it asks. Sure, little ball. Anything you want, the other man says. He's big and fat and bald, and has a red beard. With that, Glebe rolls over to the helicopter and bounces in, gurgling all the way. You two want to come along? The big man asks you. You're not sure who these men are or what you should do. Your first thought is to get Glebe away from them till you know who they really are. On the other hand, maybe you and Petior should go along with Glebe and find out what it is that they want. Well, I'm assuming that's the big, fat, tall, bald man. That would have been a lot funnier if Glebe had binged Glee right before arriving. Oh yeah, the next book in the series is, yep, Glebe Fogo still sucks. Yep, you knew that it was gotta be fat shaming in here somewhere. So we finally found it. Alright, if you decide to go along and protect Glebe, turn to page 27. If you think you should get Glebe away from these men, turn to page 39. Where's Petior? There we are, there's Glebe, whereas Petior's like off panel or something. I think I speak for all of us when I say do not glow with Glebe. Does anyone else think we should try to get Glebe away from them? I don't want to protect Glebe. Well, the option is either to go along and protect Glebe or get it. I think either way, we're stuck with Glebe. Yeah, that's exact. That too, Rob. We're stuck with Glebe. But I don't know what if we want to get. Don't go with Glebe. Well, we either go with Glebe on the helicopter or we try to get away from the helicopter, and Glebe is still with us. Don't. So Sue says don't go. Valerie says go. I think Caroline, when you say don't go with Glebe, you mean don't go on the helicopter with Glebe? Protect him, and Beth says protect him, I guess. No helicopter. It's pretty split. Push Glebe out of the helicopter. No helicopter. Yeah, that's true. I guess maybe try to escape with him. Get Glebe away from the men. Get Glebe away. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Page 39. You have no intention of getting in a helicopter with these men, or letting them take Glebe Fogo, but you don't tell them that. You and Petior give each other a special wink and head over to the helicopter, making sure your headsets are plugged into the Walkman. Glebe, you whisper. They're not taking you to L.A. Glebe gets furious and starts beaming a signal, the vibration stunning the two men long enough for you and Petior to get a good head start. Tucking Glebe under your arm, you shout to Petior, Stick with me! I'll head for the cliff over there and hide in the trees. A bullet zings over your head. Seconds later, you, Petior, and Glebe reach for the protective cover of the underbrush. You think you've got it made when suddenly the ground crumbles beneath your feet and all three of you fall into a gaping black hole in the earth. You fall forever, it seems, banging off rocks and dirt till you finally splat down into a pool of mud. You okay, Petior? You whisper, the wind still knocked out of you. Petior groans, but says he's okay. Glebe beeps unhappily, but is also unhurt. You take a small flashlight from your backpack and check out the hole you fell through. There's a tunnel supported by old timbers and a small rail track running in both directions. It's an abandoned gold mine, you finally realize. Far overhead you can see daylight. Then two heads appear, the red-bearded man and the thin man. They've got a rope ladder, and they're lowering it down. Beep boop. Are we in the glory hole? I think, yeah. We found the glory hole, and then found some gold there, apparently. How does an unhappy beep sound? I don't know. Beep boop. Oh, can we tunnel to LA? Maybe. Page 8. Let's get out of here, you whisper to Petior. Grabbing Glebe, you rush through the mine tunnel, looking for an exit. The beams of the mine are sagging dangerously, and you have to leap over piles of rubble where there have been partial cave-ins. Suddenly, the beam of your flashlight sweeps across a wooden crate marked with a skull and crossbones, and filled with red sticks. Dynamite! Next to the box is a small jar filled with detonators and a coil of fuse. Hey, this will stop them, you whisper. If we don't blow ourselves up in the process. Of course not. I've seen my friend Sourdough use this stuff 1,000 times, you say, lying a little. Actually, you've just read about handling dynamite in a mining book, and Petior's warning makes you have second thoughts. Trust me, Petior, you say, trying to sound confident. If you go ahead with your plan, turn to page 43. If you decide you're better off not using the dynamite, turn to page 51. Oh, LOL, R.A. Montgomery attended the Acme School of Writing Danger. We found a stick of dynamite. Yes, if you go ahead with your plan, turn to page 43. If you decide you're better off not using the dynamite, turn to page 51. So we can either go ahead with the plan or decide not to use the dynamite. Dynamite. Yeah, we have to use the explosives, right? If the plan is to blow 2 men in the glory hole, got it. Yes, oh, that's what the plan is, yes. that is the plan. Blow shit up. Okay. Dynamite. So we're doing the dynamite. Alright. Go ahead with the plan. Don't worry, I saw it in a book. You think you have a pretty good idea how to set off the dynamite. You fit short lengths of fuse into the detonators and then insert these into the sticks of dynamite. Then the three of you press on, trying to outrun the two dangerous men behind you. Luckily, you choose branches in the mine tunnels that lead upward towards the surface. As you turn a bend, you see a bright rectangle of light ahead. The mine entrance. 2 pistol shots ring out, and the bullets whiz past you. Your pursuers have made up a lot of ground. You realize with a shock of terror that you'll never make it to the entrance of the mine without getting shot. Desperately, you and Petya light the fuses and heave the sticks of dynamite back down the tunnel. You don't want to kill the men, just slow them down by caving in the tunnel in front of them. Suddenly, there is a tremendous explosion, and a hail of debris pelts you. Then you hear an ominous rumble. The tunnel caves in, sealing off the mine entrance. You're trapped. And to make matters worse, you can hear the red-bearded man and the thin man fumbling around behind you. Glebe, have you been watching Good Times? Dynamite! Would Sourdough be with us through all this if we went and got him? I don't know. Maybe. Sourdough's like, how come he never came back? What's going on? He probably died. You, Glebe, and Petya desperately try to push aside the rocks in front of you. The entrance can only be a few yards in front of us, you gasp. Then, Glebe begins humming. In the weak light of your flashlight, you see Glebe extend a probe and poke at some old boards that have been uncovered by the cave-in. They're so rotten, Glebe is able to break through them in just seconds. Glebe rolls into the darkness beyond, and you and Petya follow. The smell in this part of the mine is very stale and musty. Dust floats in the beam of your flashlight. Glebe is chanting mechanically, as if reading out of a textbook. Very great concentration of metallic ore here. Atomic weight 197.2. Atomic number 79. Atomic symbol AU. My databanks say that it's not good for much except making Olympic medals and heavy yellow jewelry. That rings a bell. Glebe! You mean gold? You shout. Gold is the correct answer, Glebe says. You win today's jackpot. Turn to page 48. Is that gold? I love gold. Not just today's jackpot, you say smugly, but the jackpot of all time. This has to be the lost glory hole gold mine Sourdough's been looking for. In the beam of your flashlight, the walls of the mine glitter with sparkling crystals of quartz and dazzling veins of solid gold. You're rich! You and Glebe do a little dance, but then realize you're wasting time. You grab a rusted pickaxe and begin to chip away at the quartz. Lumps of gold fall at your feet. You can't fill your pockets and backpack fast enough. Petya is tugging at your elbow. There is no time for this now. We have to find a way out of here and quick. These men will hear the sound of your pick and come looking for us. Petya may be right, but the gold is falling out of the wall like apples off a tree. There's a fortune right in front of your eyes. Just a few more swings of the pick, and you'll be set for life. We found dazzling veins in the glory hole. Wow. Yeah, no, we struck gold. This is great. Oh, we got an F in chemistry. This has to be the lost glory hole gold mine Sourdough has been searching for is the most insane sentence ever penned. Bravo, R.A. Montgomery. No, I think this is set on Johnson. I don't think they ever wrote another Choose Your Own Adventure again. Not that I've read, so I think now we know why. So yeah. Yeah, if you decide that Petior is right, turn to page 57. If you wait and gather a little more gold, turn to page 11. I mean, we look like we're having such a good time. Why would we want to stop now? You know? Yeah, they shouldn't write another one. I mean, maybe I'll have to look up and see if they did write another one, but this name does not look familiar to me. More gold. So Rachel says more gold. Oh, no, Valerie says they're going to punish us for being greedy. More. Anyone else think we should get more gold? Or do you think Peter is just being... He's just being worried all the time. He's just, you know... Got a lot of anxiety and stuff. Gold. So Beth says gold. Get more gold. More gold. All right, I guess we'll just get a little more gold. I mean, could stuff our pockets even more. Just a few more chunks of gold, you say, as you swing the pick a few more times. Suddenly, small, high-pressure jets of water squirt out of the cavities in the wall, where the gold was. The volume increases rapidly. Come on, Petior yells, trying to draw you away. But you can't stop now. You want just a handful more. Then, before your eyes, the wall bulges out ominously. Fractures run through the quartz like shattering glass. 1,000 jets of water squash you and your friends against the opposite wall of the mine. Well, the end. That's all right. Well, let's see what happens if we listen to Petior. Page 57. Squished. We got squished. I wish there'd been a picture of us getting squished against the wall of the mine. But no picture. I prayed for death and my prayers were answered. I know, it took a while, but we got it. I'll see what happens if we don't do that. Okay, Petior, you say, but how do we get out of here? He points up. Ahead of you are rays of sunlight illuminating the walls of the tunnel from above. Follow me, you exclaim as you rush towards them, forgetting to look where you step. Ah, you yell as your foot abruptly steps out over nothingness. You reach out and manage to grab hold of the shoring timbers. You stare down into a black abyss, listening to pebbles drop into the bottom of the shaft far below you. Sometimes the abyss stares back. It didn't do that this time, though. Take my hand, Petior yells desperately, but you can't let go of the beam. The gold in your backpack is weighing you down. Quick, shrug off the backpack, Petior urges you. Turn to page 69. Oh, that's not page 69. Wrong way. The beam groans and shifts so that you drop another few inches. This is one case where you don't want to take it with you. You let the backpack fall, and Petior reaches down to pull you up. All was not lost, because there are still some nuggets in your pockets, which reminds you that there's still gold in that mine. You and Petior start up the Lost Glory Hole Mining Company, then rent shovels to passing tourists, and let them do the work for a cut of the profits. The two men who were following you are never found, which is all right with you. You and Petior make a decent living with your gold mine, but it's Glebe who strikes it rich with a lemonade stand. After all, mining is hot work. It sure is. Mining the glory hole is hot work. The end. Juicy little nuggets from the glory. Throw me the idol. He chose poorly. I can't reach you. I just need to reach it. It's just a little further. Give me your hand. Your grip is slipping. Oh no. I hate believing that is stupid. Well, what if we spend some time with sourdough? Should we go back and try to get sourdough? Everybody want more sourdough and less glebe? F glebe. No, let's get sourdough. Okay, so we see the shuttle about to crash, and we return to the cabin to get sourdough. That's page 42. Leaving your backpack behind, you stumble down the slope back to the cabin. Sure enough, Sourdough is asleep at his shortwave radio. Wake up! We have to let the Mounties know that the Soviet shuttle has landed near Caribou Lake, you gasp, shaking Sourdough awake. Quickly you fill him in. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police respond immediately to Sourdough's radio call. They confirm your message and say they will forward the information to the Soviet Space Administration. Meanwhile, they let you know that the Canadian Air Force, which has been on the alert for hours, will be taking off with reconnaissance flights and rescue helicopters. Quick! Pack my backpack with the first aid kit and some blankets, Sourdough shouts, while he prepares a thermos of hot cocoa. Hot cocoa sounds good. Here, turn to page 6. Mounties. Sourdough will lead us to victory. Maybe we can help Sourdough find the glory hole. Mine. Page 6. As a last-minute thought, you snatch up your camera as you're headed out the door. Who knows? You just might be able to scoop the press with some photos taken at the crash site. Slow down, you hear Sourdough wheeze as he struggles to keep up with you. Together, you head up the ridge. Just as you're about to crest the second ridge, 2 Canadian jets make low passes into the valley. Come on, Sourdough! We've got to get there fast and see if we can be of help. In a few minutes, Caribou Lake lies before you. There it is, you shout. The shuttle has used the entire length of the lakeshore to make its landing, finally crashing into a stand of pine trees. Aluminum and glass are strewn all over the area. Surprised the thing didn't blow, Sourdough pants as he regains his breath. We have to hurry, but we better be real careful. With all the spilled fuel and electric sparks zapping around, the thing might explode any second. Go on to the next page. Through the binoculars, yeah, Sourdough is slowing us down. We'll have to leave him behind. Through the binoculars, you carefully inspect. No, we won't. You carefully inspect the wreckage. There was a strange glow towards the rear of the shattered fuselage. Frantically, you climb down through the shrubs and trees. When you stop for another look, you see the glow is getting brighter. The shuttle must be on fire. Sourdough looks worried. If that thing blows, we won't live to tell the story. We should wait for the rescue teams. I say we see if we can save anyone, you blurt out. It may take the rescuers a while to get here. If you wait for the rescue teams, turn to page 46. If you risk your life to see if you can help, turn to page 17. Are we about to get a Sourdough Glebe team up? Maybe. Team up. Yes, Sourdough Glebe team up. So, yeah, so we can either wait for the rescue teams or risk our lives. Risk our lives to save the cosmonauts. Maybe they're all dead at this point. Who knows? Go Team Venture. Go Team Sourdough. Yeah, so those are our choices. Do we try to help them? Or just wait for the rescue team? Risk it. That says risk it. Risk. I mean, they might need help. Anyone else for risk? Although the rescue teams are, Caroline also says risk. Risk. Rob says risk. We're going to risk it. Sourdough disapproves, but you decide to run downhill to the shuttle, leaving him behind. With any luck, the rescue teams with their firefighting equipment will arrive soon and join you. As you get closer, the smell of fuel is overpowering. You break out in a cold sweat, your heart thumping wildly as you crawl through a break in the shuttle's fuselage. In the rear of the shuttle, where the weird glow is coming from, you hear a strange noise, but your first concern is the crew up on the flight deck. Gingerly picking your way through the debris, you enter the cockpit. 3 bloody cosmonauts sit slumped in their seats. And, I think literally bloody, it's not like we're not suddenly British now. There's 3 bloody cosmonauts! They're sitting in the seats. Okay. Frightened, you feel their necks for a pulse. There are none. I'd better get out of here, you mutter to yourself. Then you hear the noise again, coming from the cargo bay. It sounds like someone gargling. But does that mean Petyor is dead too? Oh, that's sad. Oh. As you enter the cargo bay, you are momentarily blinded by a spherical ball of light. It rolls crazily across the floor, then rebounds off the sides of the fuselage as if it were some kind of silver ball in a video arcade game. Ever since I was a young boy, I played the silver ball. The fumes from the rocket fuel are making you dizzy, and an alarm is going off in the back of your brain, screaming at you to get away as quickly as possible. Each time the sphere whizzes past you, you can feel its heat. It glows brighter with each passing second, going dull red to cool white like molten iron. Then, sparks start to shoot off it, hitting the rocket fuel. Too late to do anything now. The whole shuttle explodes in a blinding flash. Within seconds, you and the cosmonauts are reduced to ashes. The end. Where is Sourdough? He's getting out of there. He's running back to the cabin. There we go. Just before we reduce to ashes, obviously. Well, I guess that didn't turn out so well. Let's wait for the rescue teams then. Yeah, these are grizzly. And not grizzly bears. Blessed. Not grizzly bears. Wait for the rescue teams. Let the rescue teams go in there and get killed instead. It's better that way. Sourdough is right. If the shuttle blows, the explosion will flatten the forest for miles around. Also, Sourdough probably got killed too. Standing on the hill and looking down at the wreckage while waiting for the rescue teams, you feel completely helpless. I sure wish they'd get here, you mutter. There's no sign of life at the wrecked shuttle, and the strange glow is growing brighter. Any moment now, and "Jumpin' Jehoshaphat!" Sourdough whispers as the two of you look on in utter bewilderment. That's not a fire, that's a... But you don't finish. You quickly grab your camera and start snapping pictures, one after another. A blinding ball of light bounces out of the damaged fuselage, emitting a shrieking sound. It rolls into the trees, casting stark, flaring shadows. Then there's a massive explosion. "What was that?" you shout at Sourdough. Your ears are ringing in the unearthly silence that comes next. "You've sure as blazes got me," Sourdough answers. "But I've changed my mind. Let's hightail it down there to see if we can be of any help to the crew, assuming that any of them folk down there are still alive." The two of you bounce down the hill to the wreckage, saving your conversation for later. So first he's like, "Oh, the whole shuttle might blow up." He's like, "Oh no, let's go down there and try to help people." Like, why did Sourdough suddenly change his mind? I don't get it. Turn to page 13. By the time a rescue helicopter arrives, you and Sourdough have managed to haul a surviving but unconscious cosmonaut from the wreckage of the shuttle. Soon other rescue copters arrive, and the area is suddenly swarming with uniformed personnel. After you explain what you saw to Captain Drag, the rescue commander, you point out the site of the explosion. All around a smoking crater, trees are flattened like dominoes. "Very peculiar. I'm afraid we'll have to take the two of you back to headquarters with us," Captain Drag says. "You were eyewitnesses to the entire event." The investigation at headquarters is long and frustrating. Captain Drag. So you say it's kind of a drag, huh? Being at headquarters? Captain Drag doesn't seem to believe your story about the sphere of light. Then you remember the photographs you took. Suddenly, he becomes silent. He mumbles, rubbing his bony chin. Photographs might explain what you saw. But if the light is as bright as you describe, the film will be overexposed. Give us the film. We'll send it to our dark room and see what they can come up with. Later that day, Captain Drag calls you and Sourdough into his office to tell you that the photographs were blank. Not only that, the cosmonaut has regained consciousness and remembers nothing about what happened. His memory is now completely blank. Oh no. Well, we already gave him the film. Are we heroes now? That would be nice. Something looks off with Sourdough. Is he like 4 feet tall or something? Just seems a little weird. A lot going on in this picture. Also, why is the helicopter blade like still spinning? Like if they landed, wouldn't they just like stop it for a moment, or is it like in the process of landing or something? All right, turn to page 47. Where's Glebo or whatever? Let me see those negatives, you demand, knowing your camera has never let you down before. Now, you'll just have to take my word for it, Captain Drag replies. But let's see what we can do about getting you back to your cabin. In the meantime, I suggest you keep this whole experience to yourselves. In other words, you want us to keep our mouths shut. If we don't produce those negatives, you say angrily, we're going to the newspapers with this story. You seem to have made your point. Have a seat, Captain Drag says, trying to appease you. He leans over to his desk and presses an intercom button. Darkroom, a voice replies. Sergeant, please tell Tom and Ted to bring those negatives we developed this afternoon up to my office. Tom and Ted are both big, hefty fellows. They enter headquarters not with the negatives, but with straitjackets instead. Both you and Sourdough are carted off to remain in protective custody for many years to come, locked in separate, padded cells. As the years pass, and your hair turns gray, you begin to wonder whether anything actually did happen in the field that day. But the image of the blinding ball of light and its strange glow always remains with you. Straitjackets forever. Nice. The end. That's good. That's not bad. We just got some straitjackets forever. But Sourdough was already pretty old, so by the time our hair is turning gray, he's probably long gone. Wow, don't trust the government, am I right? Yikes. Wow, we haven't had like any really good endings. Well, except for the gold. Wow, that was rough. We never got to LA. Oh, that stinks. Yeah, all right. Well, I think we've had enough. We've probably had enough Glebe for tonight. Is that his name, Glebe? Yeah, Glebe. Had enough Glebe. And there's definitely a lot of other things that could happen here with Glebe, but yeah, I think we'll stop here. We had several weird adventures, so no one ever gets to LA, Chris. Yeah, never got to. I feel bad for Glebe. Never. And Glebe actually gave up on going to LA. He decided to just stay at the Glory Hole mine with us. Tapping out. Yeah, I'm gonna tap out too, Rob. Actually, gonna stop here, so you're not missing any more Glebe Glory Hole action. So, bye, Sue. Thanks for watching. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed these Glebe adventures and liked being able to see these sweet Wishbone 3D specs. That's pretty cool. 1990. It's 1998, huh? So, all right. So someone must have had this book for uh, a while. You're welcome, Beth. You're welcome, Carolyn. All right. Yeah. So I guess we'll stop here, and I will hopefully see you all in 1 week. Yeah. Phobo heads. All right. Take care, Rob. You're welcome, Rachel. Yep. Everyone have a good night. Signing off.